Think back to the last first date you ever went on. Probably would have been with your husband, right?
Yeah. Well, yes.
Not count your boyfriend. Think back to the last first date you ever went on. And do you remember what you did?
The first date with him, we went to Sapporo.
So you went out to eat.
Yes, went out to eat, and he tells me this life story, and I'm like in tears. And yeah, it was a crazy first. I learned a lot about him the first date.
So
and then it was good.
So that worked out for you. I remember my first date with my wife. It was, I guess, officially the first date because we had gone out as, quote, friends to a party before that, but we were not seeing each other at that point or even like really considering that. But the first date that we had gone on, I grabbed a 6-pack of beer and we went down and talked by the river. So that was
that's when things changed.
It was just a hey, what do you want to do? I was like, hey, why don't I grab a 6-pack of beer and we get on by the river? And she was like, sounds great, let's do it. And so that's what we did.
And then did you ask her to be your girlfriend?
No, that's not. I think that's though what we both have considered the first date.
Okay.
So, but I bring all that up to say that the whole dinner, it worked out for you, but now they're saying that might be too intense for a first date setting.
So they say like get drinks or something. Like coffee or something like that.
Well, I'll tell you I'll tell you what is almost like recommended as the a first date type of activity here in just a sec. But the dinner dates where you're looking directly at one another could subconsciously signal confrontation and awkwardness and things like that.
Dinner is a confrontation now?
They're just saying. Looking at each other and relying on one another, in that first date sort of setting, can be awkward, confrontational, things like that. However, obviously, it didn't do that for you.
No, if you're attracted to each other and you're vibing, I mean, it's great. You have food, hopefully it's tasty food in front of you, and it's a way to really get to know somebody because you have to talk.
The recommended activity for a first date is going for a walk.
Going for a walk. Oh, okay.
Walking with someone is a form of parallel play where you don't necessarily have to make physical content or physical contact. You can enjoy walking next to someone, and you're not necessarily needing to fill each moment with conversation. So that's what they are, like saying now is the best activity for a first date.
Interesting. Okay. Well, hopefully you don't get sweaty.
I mean, I could see how that could be a thing but I could also see where it's like, all right, let's go, go get some dinner and then maybe go for a walk afterwards or, something like that.
Yes, but then again, you're being aggressive at dinner.
Well, again, Kelly,
and that's apparently a no-no.
This wasn't a thing for you. It wasn't really a thing for me either. But again, we're talking about first dates with our spouses. So obviously it worked out. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like a first date that didn't work out with someone who didn't work out. So I don't know if you could remember back on another first date with someone who you didn't end up marrying, but I'm trying.
I don't remember any of those. Isn't that weird? I remember
you've
zero
other first
dates.
You've blocked them all out. They're all just a distant past.
Oh, wait a second. I remember one with Tim.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. He was crazy. But we had fun.
Uh-huh.
We went out dancing. I was visiting my sister because he lived in Michigan when my sister lived there. And so he was a coworker of my sister's, and he and this other guy, and then my sister and I, we went out like clubbing and went dancing. And Tim was the kind of guy that he like knew everybody in that joint by the time we left. Like he was just one of those personalities that owns the room. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. That was fun, but it's not a very good way to like get to know somebody.
Well, and you know what? You mentioned something when you were out on your first date with your husband and how he was just like unloading it all and everything.
Yeah.
And that is actually a hot trend now in dating, is embracing your cringe. And you know, and in a sense, your husband was just like bearing it all, kind of like
this is me.
Getting all that cringy stuff out of the way. Like, hey, this is me, whatever. And he wasn't trying to be like cool or put on a front or whatever. He was just like, hey, this is who I am. And
he was laying the cards on the table. Here you go.
And that worked. So
this is my hand.
That is.
And he had a great story too. I was like, wow, I was fascinated because it was so different from the way I grew up.
Yeah.
So
right,
it worked.
Right.
I was mesmerized. It was great conversation. I was like, I want to know more.
Yeah, for sure. So embrace the cringe, go on a walk, and have fun on that first date.